I mean, Hoynes, it's Friday night. Hoynes is going to be open until 2.
Late, and then Limerick stays open for the people that work in Armory Square.
Oh, okay.
That's cool.
And Connor, apparently.
Yeah, and Connor.
It's the Berks Festival, from all I hear. Pat and Mark.
It's a big Burke festival.
Yeah.
With Jim Rome, weekdays noon to 3 on WSKO Syracuse, a Cumulus media station, the voice of the Central New York sports fan, The Score, 1260. Welcome to your home for local sports in Syracuse. Outside the Box Score with Mark Rowlands starts right now.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Outside the Box Score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse, right here on the Score 1260. If you're watching the stream, you'll notice that we do have a full house today. Josh is here.
I'm back.
He's back, fully back, I think, after a 3.5-year hiatus. And every time I mention it, it's just going to get longer.
All right.
We're going to get into like the 20 years pretty soon.
Sure.
And we've got a very special guest, good friend of mine, now the third member of the Burke family to be featured on this show.
3 for 3.
3 for 3. We got all the boys. Tommy Burke, board member of the Syracuse Irish Festival, is here. How are we doing, Tom?
Doing well. Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you on the show. And part of the reason is we worked out a little deal where I'm very proud to have Irish Fest sponsoring me for this show, because it is going on this weekend in Clinton Square. I was down there for 5 hours last night. Ended up pouring beers with Pat. we get a text from Tommy. It's me, Pat, and Connor and Tommy in this group chat. And he's like, "Hey, I need someone to pour beers." And we're like, "Okay, we can pour beers.
Sign me up. Yeah.
Sign me up." And so we go over to this tent. And apparently, I didn't even realize this. We were there for like 2 hours.
Flew by.
I mean, I probably poured 200 beers.
Packed crowd.
It was a decent crowd last night for
we
a
needed
Friday.
the Calvary to come, so it was a great night.
Yeah, it was a great night.
Two professionals showed up. That's all that matters.
Hey, listen, I poured beer at MBT Bank Stadium for 3 summers. I know how to pour a beer. And but it was a good crowd last night. I know we were a little worried because of the Hootie and the Blowfish concert. We were like, hopefully that doesn't take too many, people away from Irish Fest. But it was a solid crowd last night.
Great crowd. Beautiful Irish day out there right now.
Very Irish day today.
We've got a great football game coming up at the Dome, and then about 1, 2 o'clock, the showers leave, and the party's on in Clinton Square.
Yeah, and so it starts right now. For anyone listening to this, Father Kevin Maloney is giving a Irish Mass, which is something they do every year. I believe it started at 11, correct?
11 o'clock, yep.
And is he going full Gaelic, or do you have someone else to do the Gaelic?
Not anymore. Not
this
year. No. There used to be a priest out of Pittsburgh that would come in, but he has since retired, and Father Kevin has taken the reins. So we're very appreciative.
That's that's great. Father Kevin is the absolute man. I was just told in chat that our microphone. That's why. There we go, Stone. Stone was like, your microphones don't sound right, and it's because the camera microphone was picking up instead of these microphones. Only on the stream. It's obviously the radio listeners are getting the full effect of our voices. So this has been going on 25-ish years. I asked you before the show, and neither of us are entirely sure exactly how long it's been going on. 25-ish years, about 20 in Clinton Square. This is one of my favorite weekends of the year. And I remember Pat and I started volunteering there when we were like 13. Well, I started with Pat when I was like 13 years old. You guys have all been there since you were born. It's just tell me a little bit about the not necessarily the history of it, but just the passion that goes into the Syracuse Irish Festival.
So we have a very active board that's very invested in this festival. It's a free festival in Clinton Square to promote Irish culture and music.
Mm-hmm.
And every year we have local and international acts. This year we have Aoife Scott from right from Dublin,
phenomenal.
and then Connor Mallon right from the west side of Ireland.
Oh, okay.
Two fantastic bands. Unfortunately, we ran into some visa issues pretty late in the game, so the Murphy sisters and one other band couldn't join us this year.
Oh.
But really looking forward to welcoming them next year.
Oh yeah, I very much look forward to that. And Aoife performed last night. She's
Aoife's
incredible.
One of the most talented musicians to come out of Ireland in a very long time.
Yeah, I was blown away, and there have been great acts there, for years. I mean, Gaelic Storm, The Elders, Enter the Haggis, just really great acts that you guys have, I know, also built a relationship with.
Yeah, it's funny. I travel and I run into these bands, and they're like family at this point.
Yeah,
it's a very close knit community. Really, we just try to have them come every year if we can.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've seen the Elders like 9 times because of Irish Fest, and I love them every time. I think it was early on when they started coming, I think, and I remember Pat and I were at Kitty Hoynes grabbing dinner because we were like 15 years old. So, obviously we weren't drinking, but there was an SU game on. So we're like, all right, we're going to run to Hoynes, grab dinner, watch a little bit of the game. And the Elders were in there, despite the fact that they were playing in like 2 hours. And I thought that was pretty funny that they were in Hoynes, and sat down with them. They bought our dinner and ate with us, and just the nicest guys, just the greatest guys you can imagine, and obviously all straight off the boat as well, which is a lot of fun. So yeah, give us a little bit of a breakdown on what's going on today at Clinton Square. It full day, like I said, mass started at 11, and it'll be going until probably 11 o'clock tonight. So why don't you give us a breakdown of the events going on today?
So we have a full slate, Irish Mass at 11. Then we start with the Syracuse Irish session at 12 o'clock, immediately after Mass. And then we have a couple of traditional acts. Joe DeVoli, who's local to Syracuse, will be playing. Later on today, Aoife Scott's coming back at 3:30.
Perfect.
Connor Mallon, local favorite, the Public House.
Yeah, awesome.
Public House hasn't been around for a few months. Life gets in the way. People have kids, and they need a little break, but they're coming back for their first show back in 24. And then we're going to end the night with the Glengarry Boys and Hadrian's Wall out of Canada.
Yeah, I was listening to some of Hadrian's Wall because I was like, Canadian Irish band. Like, all right, let's see what we got here. Awesome. They're a really great act, and I'm looking forward to. I sadly won't be able to be there for the entire time tonight. I'm gonna stop by late in the afternoon probably. I'll probably just catch Aoife again, and but really great lineup this year. Not as big a names maybe as we've had in the past, but certainly talent-wise, awesome lineup.
Yeah, really looking forward to everybody this afternoon and evening.
And Josh,
I got something.
Go for it.
I'm not local to the Syracuse area. Someone who's never been to an Irish Fest here. If I was going for my first time, what can you expect for your first time going at Irish Fest? What can you see? What can you do? Things of that nature. You just explained, obviously, the music. Is it pretty much just a lot of concert and drinking?
Syracuse is a big, small town.
Yeah.
A lot of Irish families. This is, I call, the Irish State Fair.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair.
Outside Tipperary Hill, this time of year, school's back and everybody's getting back into the swing of things. There's a lot of people I won't start to see until the holidays, and then our high holy season with Green Beer Sunday all the way up to St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, it is fun because there's 3 like big Irish things in Syracuse every year. There's, like you said, the lead up to St. Patrick's Day with Green Beer Parade Day, the holiday itself, all that. Then there's there's St. Pat's Irish Fest, which is usually around July, like mid-July. And then we get Irish Fest, the real one, in September, because St. Pat's Irish Fest is just you're in a church parking lot playing $2 blackjack, and the Mere Mortals are playing, and it's always the Mere Mortals. And
I think Attractive Nuisance plays there too.
They do,
Yeah,
yes.
I think they both play. But yeah, you just go and listen to the Mere Mortals play $2 blackjack and drink beer from the tent in a church parking lot, and it's fantastic. I go every year. So, but this is the culmination of everything. Always at the end of the year, it's like you said, we're getting at the end of getting towards the end of summer. It's always Irish summer in Syracuse, so it's a great way to cap off.
It sure is.
It's something that a lot of people in this area, you and I included, have a lot of pride in our Irish American heritage, and it's just an awesome way to really show that pride and for everyone to get together.
Yeah, I give all the props to the team that's out there right now. Shout out to the Parks Department.
Yep.
They're downtown right now making sure that the fountain is ready for people to come in and enjoy music and dancing with the local Irish dance schools, and really just making sure that we have some fun today and bring more people down to downtown Syracuse.
Yeah, and that's part of why I was so happy to partner with you guys this year, because every year there's a good crowd there. It's not like nobody shows up. But I want as many people as humanly possible to be in Clinton Square every single year. Like, I want it to be like the State Fair. Like, I think that would be an unbelievable thing for Irish Fest. Now, granted, it's all volunteer work, really. No one gets paid. Like,
Right.
I wasn't getting paid to pour beers last night. It's all volunteer work. But there's so many great volunteers, and I think my favorite part about it is, like, any tent you go into, the guy that's pouring your beer or handing it to you. Like, it's some, like, just very well connected people in the Syracuse area, and all of which are just as proud as we are to be a part of it. So it's a great weekend, and I'm very happy to have you on and to talk about it.
Thanks for having me. All friends come down to Clinton Square to the Syracuse Irish Festival.
Exactly. I want I want 1 million people there tonight. So we do have to take a time out. Tommy, you gonna stick around with us a little bit?
Oh yeah, we gotta talk some football.
Yeah, we'll be talking some SU football and a lot more when we come back here on Outside the Box Score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse on The Score. Festival going on. There's no better way to spend a Saturday than the Syracuse Irish Festival in Clinton Square. A September staple in Syracuse, the Irish Festival is going on right now. Cold beer, plenty of food options, and amazing Irish music from acts like Glengarry Boys and Hadron's Wall will keep you entertained all day. Can't get a babysitter? Bring the kids down to the children's area. Face painting, balloon animals, and mini golf is all fun for the whole family. So stop on down to the Syracuse Irish Festival going on all day today in Clinton Square. For the best local beer in Central New York, the only place you need to look is Myers Creek Brewing Company, with 16 different beers on tap at both the Inner Harbor in Syracuse and the Palace that is the Cazenovia location. Myers Creek has something for everyone. Want a bite to eat? Both locations feature a kitchen with delicious pizzas, some of the best wings in Syracuse, and much more. Make sure to check out our friends at Myers Creek Brewing Company, the official bar of Outside the Box Score.
No one sells their stocks more pre-owned vehicles than...
Oh, brother, we've talked plenty of Velvet Fog on this show. I love how we come back from the Myers Creek ad and we're just talking about Myers Creek.
It's just good.
It's just good beer. We have some in studio today that we are going to try in the next segment.
Yeah.
So.
And what a cool concept that they get to partner with SU for this.
It's fantastic. Yeah.
What a great.
They sort of did it with LeMoyne too. They did the Dolphy Day.
Oh, the Dolphy Day's pretty good.
Yeah, there's a little trade secret about the Dolphy Day.
I
I
think we've discussed this.
Yeah,
before.
I'm not going to.
I have a hunch.
I'm not going to disclose it right now, but there's a little secret about the Dolphy Day. And hey, it's a damn good beer.
I can't believe that a couple college kids came up with a great beer.
It might have only fixed my mic. What are you talking about?
What? Don't you disrespect me. This thing's not plugged in. No. Wait a minute. No.
Now I need to like get the stream up and listen to it because
Don't tell me going long on commercial. I don't even want to take these things to begin with.
now I need to like get the stream up and listen. Can I not like? Yeah. Okay. So that's weird.
It only picking up yours?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Even though they all come through the.
Yeah, the board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll just start screaming.
Maybe it might just be.
Maybe a little low. Maybe I gotta pick.
Well,
it up.
this soundboard's terrible, so it might just be a problem with the board itself. Or sometimes these you gotta like jiggle them a little bit.
I mean, we have a couple million people, right?
Yeah. There's 5.6 watching this right
Listen,
now. on the
SU
stream.
football pregame.
That's tap to 321-321.
And we're back outside the box score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse, right here on the score 1260. We were just talking during the break, Josh. You're really amped for this Syracuse football game.
I like feel a ton of pressure. I mean, this is the game, Marky. I'm talking myself in. We said it all preseason, like, well, we got to get a couple games in. We're 2 games in, and I'm there.
Yeah, and it's going into the season. I was not super high on Georgia Tech. I knew they had the great rushing attack, but I like everything else. I was like, we'll see. I mean, granted, Florida State might be the worst team in Division I, but they stink apparently. Which I don't think anyone saw them being this bad this early coming, but I was never super high on them either.
I think they're wishing Jordan Travis could come back and play with one leg again.
Yeah.
Instead of watching DJ throw the ball out there.
That guy's never been good.
I'm sorry.
DJU has never been good.
Mark, you know me. I don't like to crap on the college kids.
No, they're kids.
They're just kids.
They're just kids.
Now that they're getting paid millions of dollars, DJ stinks. Okay, he was never good anywhere. Throw him back to Oregon State, and he can play Washington State 10 times a year because that guy is no bueno.
He had one good game when he was at Clemson.
Yep.
Do you remember who that was against? Syracuse.
Syracuse Orange.
Trevor Lawrence got hurt. DJU came in and lit us up for one game, and everyone thought he was good. Turns out Syracuse was just bad, which we knew at that time.
We knew we were bad.
We knew that was when we knew we were bad. Stone just said, I'm taking SU outright, and if we lose, I'm blaming it solely on this show.
You should.
You absolutely should.
I mean, this is you talk yourself into Georgia Tech coming off a win against a top 10 team. They're ranked in the dome. All the things. This is your national coming out party for Syracuse. Hey, Fran Brown, welcome to the show.
Yeah.
This is it.
And it's Dwight Freeney jersey retirement day, which
Bricked up.
This is a bone I've had to pick with Syracuse for a long time. And I'm going to mention it again right here. They wait way too long to honor people like by retiring their jersey.
Been out of the NFL for 10 years.
Yeah.
He's on the sideline in his gold blazer for the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he's already made the Football Hall of Fame. And now SU's like, yeah, we can retire Dwight Freeney's jersey. The guy was incredible for 15 years in the NFL. But like you said, that was 10 years ago.
Yep.
And they did this with Jerry McNamara and Hakeem Warwick. It was
2 years ago.
Yeah, were you at that game with me?
It was the
Yeah.
Wake Forest game at the end of the year.
The Wake Forest game. Yeah, everyone went. Austin and Adam, everyone came in.
And they threw it in for the end. They were celebrating the 20 years of the gym, and they were like, I guess now also we'll do it. I'm like, their great achievement was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
He's worked for you for 10 years.
Yeah.
You could have retired it 10 years ago.
Especially, like, Hakeem Warwick is one thing. Like, he has the block, and he was an incredible player for SU. Jerry McNamara is one of the 5 most recognizable names in the history of Syracuse University.
Yeah.
It's the 3 running backs, Carmelo Anthony, and Jerry McNamara. Everyone knows G-Mac because he was that good in that tournament, and it took them 20 years. 20 years to retire Jerry McNamara's number. It blows my mind that they do this. But anyway, back to the game today. SU's run defense looked a little suspect against the Ohio University Bobcats.
First game,
First
new
game.
system.
I am worried that Marlo Wax is out for 6 weeks.
Yep.
That stinks.
Yep.
This is 3 years in a row that SU's probably most dynamic player, either on offense or defense, has gotten hurt in week 1. It was Aronde Gadsden last year, and I'm drawing a blank on who it was 2 years. Oh, was it Tucker? Was that the year Tucker got hurt? Was 2 years ago?
Yeah. Yep.
So it's like we can't catch a break with these stupid injuries in week 1. It stinks.
Mm.
But outside of the rushing attack, I still wasn't very impressed with Georgia Tech. I know they're 2-0. I just think this is a very, very winnable game for Syracuse, and the line's only moved in Georgia Tech's favor. It opened at 2.5. It's at 3.5 now.
I get the half. I get the hook.
Get the hook.
I took it at 3.
You took it at 3.
Keep the points.
Keep them. Yeah, who needs
in the
them?
dome with Fran, dude. Fran will get me to do a lot of things.
Hey,
he's a crazy man.
This guy's unbelievable. Tommy, you wanted to talk some football, and by the way, I do want to mention before we get to that, I do have in studio today a very special surprise for the 3 of us. I went down to Myers Creek Brewing Company on Thursday night, as I often do, and I talked to Ivan, their brewmaster.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, Ivan, I heard about the Dart, the new SU NIL beer that you're coming out with. I heard about it.
Mm-hmm.
I want some. Yeah, set aside a couple of 4-packs for me, and I'll come and get them. And he was gracious enough to provide them for me for the show today.
Mm-hmm.
So big shout out to Ivan at Myers Creek. And would you two like a beverage while we talk about Syracuse football?
I would love to taste one.
I'd love.
We're gonna crack open these brand new Dart Pilsners from Myers Creek Brewing Company, and do a little taste test here live on air, because I know it's going to be good. There's no way it isn't.
So you haven't had one yet.
It's spoiler. I've had 2.
Fantastic logo.
A great logo. You've got the football player, the helmet, SU, Dart NIL, the Dart Pilsner. So, gentlemen, Sláinte in honor of Irish Fest.
Great radio.
Yeah.
That's a great beer.
It's a great beer, isn't
Great
it?
beer.
They've done it again.
You could have a couple 4-6 of these at the game.
This
would be great.
easily.
Do they sell Myers Creek at the Dome?
You bet they do.
Oh, buddy.
You can crack open a Velvet Fog at the JMA Wireless Dome.
You gotta get this in there.
I'm assuming it will be soon, if it isn't for today's game.
Beer that goes directly towards your team, sold at the at the stadium. I mean,
it's perfect.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah, you are actively supporting the players you are watching on the field.
Oh, yeah.
So it's fantastic. It's a great beer. But Tommy, now let's get your analysis on the Syracuse Georgia Tech game today.
So I'm going to start with this. Defense wins championships.
Mm-hmm.
They don't need to win regular season games. This game will be decided by SU's offense.
Mm-hmm.
If Kyle McCord can get the ball around the field, and if the defense can just go out there and not make any grave errors, I think Syracuse is walking into a new era after today.
So you're saying, and I've thought this the entire time, this game has real shootout potential.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
The over 60. The total 60.
60?
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm gonna bet the over.
Right. That's high.
It's high, but I still don't hate it. I don't hate it, Josh. I could easily see this being a 35-32, something along those lines. Like, this game has real shootout potential. Kyle McCord impressed the hell out of me week 1 against Ohio. And I know it was the Ohio University Bobcats. It was not, it wasn't Michigan.
Sure.
But career highs in passing yards and touchdowns. He'd never thrown 4 touchdowns in a game before. Had never cracked 340 passing yards before. Stone just said he hammered the over. That this is on us.
We didn't even say that.
We didn't. I said I don't hate it.
My only concern with the over is Georgia Tech may play some bully ball and just hit our defense where it hurts the most, that defensive line.
Could speed up the game.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can see that.
I could see that as well. And that's the thing with the team that runs the ball so much, like Georgia Tech, is they're just burning clock, baby.
How you mentioned McCord. How fun is it for Syracuse fans to watch a quarterback? Again, I mean, no disrespect to Garrett Schrader. I loved watching Garrett Schrader, but he was not this type of quarterback.
It's fantastic.
We have a real deal quarterback right now.
I mean, I said it when he first came here. There's a real chance he's the best QB we've had since McNabb.
Yeah.
And
Not wrong.
that's no disrespect to Eric Dungy, no disrespect to Ryan Nassib, who did really good things here at Syracuse. I think it's just McCord. And after week 1, this guy is the real deal. And I met him like 2 months ago, and he's listed at 6'3", 225, and he is all of 6'3", 225. He is solid as a rock, dude. Like it. Okay. But like he's one of those guys. You shake his hand, and even if I didn't know who he was, I would have been like, this guy's a football player. Like there's just something about him. Did you knock the thing down? Yeah, it happens all the time. We talked about it before the season started, how we've never been, and I've been an SU, supporter longer than you have, but I've never been this excited going into a Syracuse football season.
And I've got to shout out Fran Brown here. The clock management against Ohio was something we haven't seen in almost 10 years.
It was great. Dino couldn't manage a clock to save his life.
He's a defensive backs coach, and he's coming in managing games like that. I mean,
it's insane.
You love to see it. You love to see it.
And something that I know he didn't look great against Ohio. Deuce Chestnut always belonged in a Syracuse uniform. I hated when he transferred to LSU. And I know he's not the best tackler in the world. Okay. In an open field, he's not exactly the guy you want to rely on. This dude is an insane cover corner. He provides unbelievable coverage. And that's something that Syracuse hasn't had since he was here his freshman year 2 years ago. And we saw glimpses of it, but he also got hurt that year. I think he only played in like 7 games.
Yep.
And that to have a legit cover corner that that their best receiver is going to be locked down half the time, it's so much fun. It's so much fun watching this team.
I'm just thinking now about how not easy it's got to be for McCord, but you're good, right?
Yeah.
You came out of college,
You
went to Ohio State.
You won 11 games at Ohio State last year.
You know you're there, and then all the pressure has to go away. I mean, coming to Syracuse from there, I mean, it's just got to be like go out there and play football, and you can do that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be routine to him. This is a test for sure
Mm-hmm.
today, but Ohio getting that first game in the reps couldn't have asked for more.
No.
I mean, just a great start to really get us in there.
And it's funny because the first drive was bad. He looked terrible on the first drive. Like even just after the first drive, I already saw Syracuse fans being like, "Oh no, we didn't get our hopes up, did we?" Like he looked really bad on the first drive.
Other than Fran Brown, Kyle McCord is one of the only players on that team that has real football, like under the lights,
big time
house.
football
Yeah.
experience. Yeah. And I was at the Ohio State game last week against Akron. Shout out the Zips covering the 48.5 points. Huge. And I was wearing a Syracuse jersey to the game. And the amount of people that walked up to me were like, "You stole our quarterback."
Really?
Yeah.
They liked
And
him.
yeah,
I mean, it's hard not to like him.
yeah, they liked him. They didn't necessarily love him, but they liked him. And then the game happened, and there's updates happening on the scoreboard, and they kept updating the Syracuse game because people are interested in how Kyle McCord is doing. And after the game, walking out, people were like, "Man, he never looked that good here." They were like, "That's a really impressive game from him." And Will Howard's the new quarterback at Ohio State, transfer from Kansas State.
Yep.
And he did not look good against Akron. He can run, but his arm was all over the place. And so after that game, people were like, "Oh no, we might have made the wrong decision here. We probably should have kept McCord." And if Ohio State fans are saying, that guy's pretty good, actually. I think we're in pretty good shape. I really do.
I'm getting jazzed just talking about it right now. Like, I can't wait for 12 o'clock.
Yeah, I can't either.
Coming soon.
Yeah.
I'm going to be watching on the drive home.
I will absolutely be watching that game like in the car, or I'll probably just throw it on the radio.
I
But,
think it's going to be one of the most impressive atmospheres in the Dome since probably Clemson in 2019.
Yep.
No, not great weather this morning.
Nope.
Everybody's going to get in there early.
Yep.
It's going to be rocking in there.
the Loud House is back. I think it's fair to say that for football, the Loud House is
It'll
back.
really be back if they win today.
Oh, if they win today,
Stanford will be a sold-out game.
Yeah.
Fran Brown is doing great things on campus too. I mean, as a member of the SU community now,
campus faculty.
He's around. First year students. He's visiting with them for their first year orientation stuff. He's there trying to promote the football organization. He's trying to bring new eyes to the program. He knows what that does to, the pulse. And I'm thinking of the meme now of just the college football meme, but that's real. Kids feel that, especially at any level. Even professionals feel it. And he's doing a great job of motivating that fan base, that campus.
It's awesome.
It's fun to see.
He's doing things that I didn't think were possible at Syracuse University.
I should have said as a colleague of Fran, sorry.
Yeah, a coworker, yeah.
He doesn't take himself that seriously.
No.
No.
I mean, any other Power 5 school, you're not going to find somebody who's as approachable and out in the community as Fran is.
Yeah, I mean, if you saw him on campus, I don't think anyone would feel nervous about just being like, hey, coach, hey, Fran. It's that type of a feel. You're absolutely right.
I did that to him. I saw him at Dinosaur Barbecue one night,
Mm-hmm.
and it was I think it was his birthday. He had a whole group with him, and a lot of people were walking up and saying, "Hey, coach, nice to meet you. Welcome to Syracuse." It was shortly after he signed on to be the coach, and but it was shortly after. But he had already gotten 80 recruits because that's what he does, And as he was leaving, we were both leaving around the same time. And I was like, Coach, just wanted to welcome you. I think you're doing a fantastic job so far. And I'm really looking forward to the season. And he was like, thank you. You could tell he actually appreciated, people coming up to him and, saying that, because I've gotten in this argument with your brother a couple of times.
A lot of people get in arguments with my brother.
No, I've never seen it. And he has this argument that Syracuse is a football school.
I have heard this one.
Yeah.
This is the dumbest argument.
It's the dumbest argument ever, because we're absolutely a basketball and lacrosse school. It's not even close. Maybe
the tides could turn.
The tide. We might be back to being a football school in a couple of years if this keeps up, because it started as a football school. We had Ernie Davis and Jim Brown and Floyd Little and Larry Zonka, and we were a football school until we weren't. If this keeps up, we might be on our way back. And if Syracuse turns into a football school and this turns into a football town, watch out, because that dome will be rocking every single game. And it's great. I'm so excited to go to a game this year. I was thinking about going to today's game. I've got too much other stuff going on.
We gotta go.
But
let's hook it up.
Yeah, we're gonna go. We're gonna go to a football game and hope Stanford maybe.
Sure.
Friday night under the lights.
Oh, it's Friday night.
Friday night.
That could be a fun one. Stanford's first ACC opponent.
This coming Friday.
Yeah.
Friday? They play through.
No,
bye week next week.
Yeah, bye week next week.
Okay.
But yeah, it's Stanford's first conference game as a member of the ACC is at the Dome. And if it's a 2-0 Syracuse, welcome to the conference, big guy, because that place is going to be unreal. Stanford wouldn't have played in an atmosphere like the Dome will be that Friday night. We do have to take a timeout. Tommy, you're more than welcome to stay as long as you like. So we'll be back. We got a lot more to talk about here on Outside the Box Score. There's no better way to spend a Saturday than the Syracuse Irish Festival in Clinton Square. A September staple in Syracuse, the Irish Festival is going on right now. Cold beer, plenty of food options, and amazing Irish music from acts like Glengarry Boys and Hadron's Wall will keep you entertained all day. Can't get a babysitter? Bring the kids down to the children's area. Face painting, balloon animals, and mini golf is all fun for the whole family. So stop on down to the Syracuse Irish Festival going on all day today in Clinton Square. If you're a fan of local craft beer, the only place you need to go is Myers Creek Brewing Company with 16 brews on tap at both the Cazenovia and Inner Harbor locations. Myers Creek has the best selection of locally brewed libations in all of central New York. Want a nice hazy IPA? The Velvet Fog is a must-try. More of a traditional Pilsner, how about the Floatin' on By? And for you sour drinkers, the It Takes Blue to Mango. So crack open a cold one with the official beer of Outside the Box Score, Myers Creek.
When you choose top two.
Game going to be in the playoff.
Can you imagine thinking about that stuff, though, in 10th grade? Getting
Yeah.
recruits from D1 schools?
Yeah.
Could not imagine. I was just trying to think about how many times I could sneak off to the bathroom. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's a different. It's a whole different thing.
In 26 years, I've never been as talented at anything in my life as this kid is at 14.
Yeah.
Or whatever. But
Yeah,
these kids are crazy.
He's like 6'3". He's huge.
He's a tank of a person.
Because I was told about him from like the friend of his father's, and he's like, Mark, you got to watch this kid. And so Liverpool was on TV. They were in the, I think it was like state finals or something, or state. Yeah, they played CBA, and
Can't miss him. You can't.
talk about sticking out like a sore thumb. That reminds me, I got a story to tell about this kid I saw play an Ohio high school football game.
Oh, when you went, yeah.
Yeah, this kid's unbelievable. I love this kid.
He's going to the U? Or he's going to OSU?
Listen, no, but listen, I'll take him at Syracuse. He's 5 foot tall.
Oh, the opposite way.
Yeah,
He's
no,
a tiny guy.
he's so small, and he was the best tackler on the field. It's unbelievable. He was playing both sides of the ball. He was playing. He was playing like fullback.
Little Deuce Vaughn action.
Yeah, I wouldn't even call him like their running back, because he was more of a fullback, which is very funny when you're 5 feet tall.
Likes contact.
Gentlemen, I'm taking off. I gotta go.
Tom, great to see you, buddy. Yeah, of course.
I'll see you tonight.
Yeah, I'll stop down later.
See you, Tommy. Have a good one. What a nice man.
Oh yeah, Tommy's great. I love Tommy. But yeah, this kid from Mohawk High School in Sycamore, Ohio, was unbelievable.
Bishop Sycamore?
Yeah. Also, their quarterback, insane. I saw him make like 3 throws that I'm like, Kyle McCord makes that throw. Like these are like 45 yards in the air into the breadbasket, like hitting the guy in stride.
It's weird going to a place like that where they have like actual talent there. Like you get one-offs in certain places.
But that's the thing, is that high school really doesn't for football.
Oh.
It's not. Their graduating class is 50 people. It's a super small high school. So like there isn't.
Build a football team?
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean, this kid I was watching might actually be in 7th grade. I don't know.
You're playing varsity this.
And we're back outside the box score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse on the score 1260. Tommy Burke had to leave. He's got to go down to Irish Fest. Mass is probably just finishing up pretty soon. Shout out Father Kevin of St. Patrick's Church. Great guy. Love Father Kevin. Lefty golfer, though. It's weird.
On the wrong side.
Yeah. You don't see many priests that are lefties. Because that,
Oh, true. Doing the whole thing.
like, that was like, for years, it was like, no, you can't be left-handed if
He
you're
would've been
Catholic.
hit. He could probably get hit all throughout school.
Yeah. So,
The devil's hand.
yeah, exactly. So it's kind of strange that a priest is a lefty, but whatever. So he had to run back down to Irish Fest. Jim's back in the chat. Late to the party today.
What the hell you got going on?
Maybe he was at Father Kevin Maloney's mass down at Irish
There
Fest.
you go. Respect.
He brings up a question, as he often does. How pivotal is today's game for the rest of the season for Syracuse?
Well, you can
Yeah, well, I was just going to say, I think it's pretty big, but I wanted to hear your opinion.
I mean, from an actual Syracuse football program perspective, I don't think it's that big, right? I mean, I think if they lose today to a ranked opponent at home, not the end of the world. And now they're barely ranked. I get it. It's a conference game. You lose at home, you can still make some things happen.
Mm-hmm.
To the fan base, you've got some people up, and then to lose this game would kind of kill the momentum a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, you still have Stanford coming in a couple weeks. You could still bring it back. I mean, they're not dead, but I think it means more to the fan base and the program on that side of things. The actual football team, I don't think it's that big of a game, if that makes sense.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. The only reason, and he brought this up as well, if Syracuse wins today and will potentially be ranked towards the bottom half of the top 25, maybe not, but they received a vote last week. So they're already like in consideration from some people. But they'll definitely get more votes if they win this week.
Right.
And let's say Georgia Tech wins 4 games in a row after this, and they continue to be ranked, and I know it's early. I know it's game 2. Is there a playoff conversation to be had?
Saban already said it.
He did. I forgot about that. Nick Saban was just randomly like, yeah, if you've got to go into, I think he said like Michigan, somewhere else, Syracuse. And I'm like, huh?
Fran Brown meant so much to this program. I'm telling you, the national football people understand what that means and how this program can grow now.
Yeah.
But for just the casual college football people, this would be a big win for Syracuse, I think.
Yeah.
To really be like, okay, maybe they are serious. Because I think a lot of, like, even fans maybe around will be like, okay, we brought in a coach. We've done this before. We beat Ohio. Whoop-de-doo.
Yeah.
Who cares? Beating Georgia Tech at home, ranked team, as a dog.
As a dog, yep.
All the things, Marky.
This
is big.
It's all pointing to being a really big day for Syracuse.
Because even when Syracuse has been ranked in the last, I mean, they were ranked in consecutive years, right? With
yeah.
I mean, and high up is what, 14th?
Yeah, 14, I think.
Nobody took us.
No, we knew what was going to happen.
We had a great defense in Sean Tucker, and that was about it. And we nearly beat Clemson with that.
Yeah.
And
God, we should have won that game. That game still.
Second half is probably the ugliest second half in Syracuse football in 20 years.
Up what? 14 at the half, and it was never even close in the second half.
Has a good defense and only runs. You're like,
yeah.
How could we lose?
Chalk it up, boys. We beat Clemson, and then they score like 30 points in the second half.
But even when you're ranked the last couple of years, it's like, we're not making the playoff.
No.
Maybe we get a good bowl this year. We'll probably lose. Who cares? Now, I mean, you get that same recognition. You're like, we're right. Nobody wants to play us.
No.
We're good. We have a foundation. We have players who can play, who want to play in a place that's packed. The loud house is loud. It's feeling, I mean, buddy, I got goosebumps. I can't describe how happy I am. I'm jazzed.
It's funny being in, and this sounds like bad, but it's kind of true. For the first time being in a real big time college football atmosphere this past weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, Ohio was playing Akron, or Ohio State was playing Akron, and there were 100,000 people there at the shoe. It's a different vibe that I expected, but like they're hanging on every play against the Akron Zips. It's just different. If say SU starts 4-0.
We've seen that before.
We've seen it before, but like you said, it feels different this time.
It does.
Say they start 4-0 and they play whoever at the Dome. Boston College. That's a great one. NC State, Or like let's say we're 9-1 going into Miami.
Okay, we've jumped.
No, but like just for this example, say we're 9-1 with Miami coming to the Dome last game of the season.
Yep.
I gotta imagine that 42,000 at the Dome, because that's what the new capacity is with the seats, which also shout out the fact that there are seats at the Dome now. It's fantastic.
Sounds great.
That 42,000 is going to feel a hell of a lot like that 100,000 I just saw.
Oh, yeah.
And that is something that Syracuse has lacked in football for, I think, really 25 years since McNabb.
Yeah.
And we've had it for basketball. Syracuse has like the top 7 all-time crowds for an on-campus stadium in college basketball. So I've been to those games against Georgetown and Duke and, those big-time basketball games.
Right. UNC this past year.
UNC, yeah. I was
You stormed the court.
I was on the court. So I've been to those big-time games at the Dome, and I know what they feel like for basketball. But to be able to feel that for football is something this town has lacked for 25 years, and it's just so refreshing.
I'd love to see. I mean, the students generally come out, but what it could do to the fan base of the external fan base, because students, they get the discount, whatever. Anyone coming in just in Syracuse being like, hey, we got stuff to do on Saturdays now.
Yeah.
We could go to the Dome.
That's
really watch real football.
I think it's interesting because Syracuse is a very interesting college town because Syracuse is the 5th largest city in New York. So it's big enough.
Right.
It's a decent sized city. But like Tommy said earlier, it's a really big small town.
Yep.
That's what Syracuse is a really big small town. You spend any time on Tipperary Hill and you'll see that. And the university means so much to every native here because it's all we have.
Right.
We're a Division I school in a Power 5 conference. And we don't have, Buffalo's the closest professional team. That's 2 hours and 40 minutes away. There's a lot of Yankee fans, a lot of Mets fans, a lot of Knicks fans, a lot of Jet fans. They're all spread out. But the one thing everyone in this town agrees on is Syracuse. It's very rare to find someone born and bred and raised in Syracuse, New York, that isn't in some weird way kind of obsessed with Syracuse University.
It's a big Auburn Tigers fan.
You never see that. And so when our sports programs are good, the whole town is just happier. Everyone's in a better mood when the football and basketball and lacrosse teams are successful. And it's hard to describe to people that aren't from here because they're like, it's just college sports. What are you talking about? It's like, no, that's like all we have.
Right.
That's what unites this city.
That's the thing.
Is the college. Even if I didn't go there, my parents didn't go there. I don't know if any members of my family went to Syracuse University.
Right.
Doesn't matter. And if SU football or SU basketball is on, guess what I'm doing?
Yeah.
I'm watching the game or I'm going to the game.
I mean, we even saw it on a way smaller scale, way smaller. But in Oswego, think about, those hockey games and what that meant. As many students that were there were also that really small town.
Yeah.
Whereas many townies that were the weirdos and whatever the weird people you want to say about them, they loved Oswego State sports and hockey specifically.
Yeah, Oswego hockey is like the backbone of Oswego, New York.
Totally. I mean, absolutely. It lasts for so long. It's the thing to do in the winter. Our winters in that place suck. And
yeah, they're terrible.
You think they're bad in Syracuse, they're just as bad, if not worse.
Worse in Oswego, yeah.
And it's the one thing that, like, I think people actively are like, hey, did you see we got a game tonight? We can go to the game. Like, it's something that really, truly that's why sports rock, right? Like, this is what it all is. It brings people together. It's like Irish Fest, Mark. Those are volunteers. It's people helping people.
It's just like Irish Fest. I'm glad you brought that up because, of course, the show today is presented by the Syracuse Irish Festival. You can go down to Clinton Square at any point today.
Right.
I mean, it's going on right now. Father Kevin's already probably done. You got the next ceremony starting at noon.
Come on, come all. It sounds like an all-day concert and like just beer fest. I mean,
yeah,
it sounds fantastic.
It's the best way. I mean, I said this in the ad I wrote. It's the best way to spend a Saturday in Syracuse is going down to Clinton Square and hanging out at Irish Fest. So they are the presenting sponsor of our show today. That's why we had Tommy in. It was Always great talking to him. Always great to have a member of the Burke family on this show. We are 3 for 3 with the boys. Just got to get Big Tom in here at some point, the father. And that would be an electric show if we got Tom in here. But so why not? After the SU game that you're all going to. I saw Brent Axe did his usual. He reports how many seats are left in the dome. There's like 3,000. So it's going to be like 39,000 people there today. Which that's way too many seats still available.
True.
But after you're done going to the Syracuse game, you're already in the area.
Sure.
University Hill and downtown are not that far apart.
No, they're right
Just
near each other.
hop on over to Clinton Square and go to the Syracuse Irish Festival, the presenting sponsor of today's show. There's no better way to spend a Saturday than the Syracuse Irish Festival in Clinton Square. A September staple in Syracuse, the Irish Festival is going on right now. Cold beer, plenty of food options, and amazing Irish music from acts like Glengarry Boys and Hadron's Wall will keep you entertained all day. Can't get a babysitter? Bring the kids down to the children's area. Face painting, balloon animals, and mini golf is all fun for the whole family. So stop on down to the Syracuse Irish Festival going on all day today in Clinton Square.
It's time for Men's Fashion Center.
Gotta get on the apps here,
We got a good number today.
How many we get?
30.
That ain't bad.
Hmm.
Even half of those people head on down to Irish Fest.
Yeah. It was 9 earlier. We've just it's all free.
You gotta pay for beers.
Well, yeah, you got to pay for beer.
You loser. I mean, you get a free concert and you can buy $7 beer, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I don't know.
6, I think.
Even better.
Yeah.
They don't. You know.
You know what they got there? They got Velvet Fog. You drink Myers Creek at Irish Fest? Are you kidding me?
I can't wait.
Are you going?
I'm not.
Okay.
They don't.
Yeah.
I'm going. That's why I'm glad Tom never been like, so you're coming? Because I did
Yeah.
the question.
Yeah.
Like, if you would have been like, you coming down today? I was like, I don't really live here.
Yeah.
It sounds fun. But, the idea of going and then I got to.
Yeah. Ready to talk a little soccer?
What do you, yeah? UEFA Nations?
No, SU soccer.
Oh. I mean, by all means, we can talk U.S. Open tennis.
Oh yeah, we're gonna talk some U.S. Open. But I do have a soccer thing to bring up.
Okay, take it away.
It's just gonna be a quick thing. And we're back outside the box score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse on the score 1260. Do you want to bring up quickly something that I don't really talk about a lot because I don't know that much about the sport, to be honest with you. But Syracuse men's soccer had a big game the other day, playing crosstown rival LeMoyne, and loses 1-0 to a school that just went D1 last year. And I have a different take on this than you people probably think I'm going to have. I'm not going to rip on Syracuse. Okay. Should they have won that game? Absolutely. You're the number 7 team in the country. It's LeMoyne.
Yep.
Also, we're opening our basketball season with LeMoyne this year.
That'll be a fun one.
Yeah, that's gonna be a really fun one. My take is this. That is a great coming out party for LeMoyne sports on a national level. I know it's men's soccer, but this is a team that won the national championship 2 years ago in Syracuse.
Sure.
This is a high-profile Division I soccer team. And this is as good of a coming out party as LeMoyne can have as a new D1 program. Because not only do you take out a top 10 nationally ranked team, you do it with a school that's 10 minutes away. And all of a sudden, people are saying, hey, wait a minute. LeMoyne. That's right. They're D1 now. That's great. They beat Syracuse. Like, it stinks for Syracuse, but, that's awesome for LeMoyne that they're able to win that game. And that's going to provide them some notoriety. And I just think that's really cool. And
I mean, outside of just Syracuse, I mean, we do have other D1 programs.
Yeah,
Like, that's pretty sick.
Yeah, so I just thought that was kind of cool. Josh, I want you to talk about we got like 6 minutes left in the show.
Sure can.
I want you to talk about some U.S. Open tennis. Shout out Jessica Pegula.
Let's start with the women.
Yeah.
Terry was in attendance yesterday. I'd be shocked if he's not there again today.
Yep.
He takes the time from tanking the Buffalo Sabres and promoting whatever the Bills have left on their roster to come out and see his billionaire daughter try and win a U.S. Open final for the women. Would be massive. I will say, I love Pegula.
Yep.
It's very fun to watch her. It's an American. Sabalenka looked downright disgustingly good yesterday against Emma Navarro.
Uh-huh.
Like, wow. Or 2 days ago, she was just, everything was on her. Serve was impeccable. Couldn't get by. Navarro was beating her so badly. Forehands was on. Everything was top-notch for Sabalenka. She's no longer this choke artist as she was.
Yeah.
When she first came onto the scene, when she got to the quarters, you could write her off.
Yeah, she couldn't win the big one.
One of a major,
yeah,
dominant. And then it got to her. That is not the case these days. She looks locked in. I'd be shocked if she doesn't win.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow, Marky. For the first time since 2009.
It's been that long.
An American man is in the finals at any major.
Yeah.
That was Roddick at Wimbledon. For the first time since 2006, they're in the U.S. Open finals. And do you know the last time they won one?
Sampras?
No. It was Roddick.
Oh, okay.
In 2003 at the U.S. Open. 21 years. The ghost has been hanging over all of America.
God.
As much as I would have loved to see Foe be the guy on Sunday.
I would have loved for it to be the big Foe.
There's something about, Fritz, this was his first semis, and he didn't look jazzed at all. The first set, his serve numbers were a little down, and the second set especially, some of those things got to him. Totally looked locked in. And if you would have said that he had a higher fitness level than Foe in a 5-setter last night, I would have laughed at you.
Mm-hmm.
But he completely outfit him. I mean, Foe's legs died on him.
Yep.
He'd played more of this tournament. He had a longer, time on court. It just died. The crowd was for him.
Yeah, oh yeah. The U.S. Open crowd loves Foe.
It's weird to see an American thing.
Yeah.
Still pick a guy.
Yeah.
But they picked Foe.
Yeah.
They did, and like even to the point where Foe goes down a double break in the 5th set. He's just he gassed out. That's just what happened. And Fritz will miss a first serve, and he got some guys in the crowd cheering. That's pretty, in tennis terms. That's pretty rude.
Yeah, that's really rude.
Like, you don't cheer on mistakes necessarily.
Yeah.
Now, when they do it to the Russians when they're playing up,
that's fine.
Love it.
That's great.
Yeah. Against Paul, they were actively booing him.
Yep.
I expect much more of that on Sunday. Should be a raucous crowd. Fritz is a calm, cool, collected guy, though. He doesn't like to play into the crowd. He got pumped up afterwards. He likes to just do his business. So, I'll see how the crowd plays in. I expect still some people, because if you're paying for the U.S. Open final, you just like tennis on some level. So I'd expect some support for Sinner as well, being the #1 player in the world.
Yeah.
Whether he be a doper or not, he's a cheater. He should be banned for 2 years, whatever.
Yeah.
But all of that aside, there's nothing to talk about. I mean, if Fritz serves as well as he did against Zverev in the quarterfinal, and even last night in the last 2 sets, I think we could be feeling it. Now, I'm not saying it's gonna be easy.
Yeah.
His fitness has been a lot better. He's getting to more balls on either side of the court. He can move a lot better. His net plays better. Fritz was the guy. Fritz was definitely the best player we had going into this tournament.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be exciting. But they moved it up. It was always at 4 o'clock. I don't know if it was last year. It's at 1 o'clock on Sunday. What are you doing? 1 o'clock. The football Sunday just kicks off. Even 4 suck. It was just unlucky. Whatever. 1 o'clock on Sunday.
That's ridiculous.
I mean, I'm going to be watching still, but it kills it for anyone else. But I can't be more excited just to have a guy, regardless of draw. When people say like, oh, well, they lost, there's got to be an asterisk. There's no asterisk if the top guys lose in the tournament. That's the tournament.
Yeah.
2020, when Joker sits out because of COVID, he can't go. Asterisk. Sure. He lost.
Yeah.
There's no asterisk. This is a win for U.S. tennis. And may God have mercy on Carolyn Fritz's soul to try and win this thing with the ghost of Roddick in the building. Good luck, Taylor Fritz.
It's going to be tough, but I'm super excited. I love the U.S. Open final. I'm very excited to watch it. I'll also be watching that tomorrow at 1 instead of any football games because my football team won a game last night. So I'm all set.
We got a quick can we stop playing football in places that don't play football?
Yes.
That field was awful.
It was terrible.
Jordan loves his ACL.
Yeah, it was terrible field. Anyway, that's it for the show. Shout out to Tommy Burke for being here. Awesome. Go down to Syracuse Irish Festival tonight. You'll have the best time of your year, probably. So we'll see you next week. Peace.